Everybody's at the record hop, rocking at the record hop. Rocking at the record hop, baby. Baby. Rocking at the record hop, rocking at the record hop, baby. Rolling at the record hop, rocking and rolling. Rolling and rocking, get and rolling, rolling and rocking, get and rolling, rolling and rocking, rocking and rolling and rocking, the record high. Your do but yeah. Your do but yeah. Everybody's at the record hop,
Everything you said we already knew, more or less.
Well, here's something that you didn't know. 2 of those special atomic bombs haven't gone off.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Upsurge Open Qualifiers for the Scouting Grounds. This is the semifinals of our tournament here between ANEW Esports and Maryville University. My name is Ortal. I am joined here by Sordo. How are you doing today, Sordo?
Yo, it's Pog time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We are hyped for this. ANEW, though, all right, we have to talk about this.
Yes, we
ANEW did lose 4 bans.
Yes.
Because of all the tomfoolery that they had. So we'll just leave it at that. First 4 bans are out the window. They don't get them. Maybe they don't need them. Maybe that was all part of their big brain plan, all right, to, have everything go the way that it did, lose 4 bans, and then crush MU.
We never know, but again, they did lose 4, and so that is what we are waiting for. That's what we're waiting for, the timers right now. But MU do get their pick of the choice then, so this does matter. Thresh taken away, targeting that bot lane just a little bit. Same with that mid lane, Kiana hover. And so that means there are 2 ways to really go about this, right? Especially since Mordekaiser is still disabled due to his numerous patch bugs and issues. This leaves up a possibility of multiple power picks still coming into play here.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the fact that you don't ban anything and then you're on blue side means that you're going to leave up so many things. It changes, how the game is going to be picked and played. You still have power picks like Sejuani available. You have Yuumi available. Even though Kiana and Silas are banned, you still have so many power picks. So it really does depend how ANEW, pick in this first draft. That it kind of sets up for how MU is going to be.
Yeah, and already we do see the Kled picked up, which is an awesome addition. It's a nice blind pick because of his skills, because of his ability rotations. and he recently got a buff, having that that grievous wounds on his trap blade.
Yep, and I mean, it makes it so difficult to lane against him, especially with some of the top tier picks in the top lane. We haven't really seen it. It's kind of why we started to see Tristana come into meta. We started to see Karma top come into meta as well. So it doesn't really surprise me to see the Karma picked up. Excellent flex pick into 3 different roles. It doesn't really surprise me to see it. You still have the Yuumi up. So it kind of tells me that MU isn't looking towards something like a Sivir Yuumi or an Ezreal Yuumi. They might be looking for something a bit more aggressive and poke heavy in that bot lane.
Yep. And that is a huge thing, and there it is, the Tristana flex pick, which we all love and hate depending on where it goes.
Yeah, no, I really like that. Into the Kled, it doesn't have the best win rate in the world, but you can still flex that into the mid lane. I have seen Honeybee play it, once or twice. I'm surprised that that Maryville doesn't have Julian playing, because we did see him play Tristana mid back like a week ago in mid game. We've seen him play it throughout competitive as of late, or amateur league. So I'm kind of surprised not to see him, but the Tristana mid is still pretty viable. It's very strong. We do see the J4, which Tristana, again, still does well into. You Cataclysm her, and she can just rocket jump out.
Now, the big thing is altering that buffer timer, trying to do a little bit of mind game in there, but we do see the full rundown comp coming out of ANEW right now. Kled, J4, and Sivir on the hunt, plus the speed up from Skarl and the Cataclysm Flag and Drag. A massive wombo combo if it does land on some tricky targets here. So MU have to pick their composition very, very carefully here.
Yeah, you could pick a Braum into this. You could pick a Nautilus into this. They're going to pick the Aatrox, though. So that kind of tells me that they're more pushing that Aatrox towards the top lane. That will probably be more of a Tristana mid. You can kind of flex between those two, but now they kind of have an idea that Karma is going to go towards that bot lane for MU. So now you can kind of change the way that you want to play. Yuumi is going to be banned out because they do not want to deal with that Sivir Yuumi lane. ANEW is still going to lose one more ban, which is pretty massive here. MU does get the first pick of the second half. So that's going to be really important. I'm kind of curious to see what MU is going to ban. Now that you ban the Yuumi, you don't need to really ban the Nautilus. You can keep up so many different things. And for ANEW, you save the ban in something like the Nautilus, like the Thresh that's already banned. You save things like the Braum, very heavy engaged supports that you now don't have to ban.
Yep, and now you also have to take a look because of how targeted that is on the bottom lane. If they do decide to flex that Karma still to the top side, run that Aatrox mid, Tristana ADC, you can still ban out another support here, or a mid laner even, and then still pick up your actual support here in the first rotation for MU and really stifle ANEW's bottom lane. That's another option that they do have. Unfortunately, I do agree with you. I think that Karma is going on the bottom lane, so I think the support area is out. But it'll be interesting to see if they do some crazy shuffles in there.
Yeah, no, I do like the Corki ban, though. He has been one of the top mid laners as of late. We have, seen him as a resurgent, more as a counter towards Azir than anything else. But, I mean, it doesn't really surprise me to see it banned. Morgana, though, going to be banned. I don't want to say anything. I'll wait on it. Maybe ANEW picks it, maybe they won't. Nautilus, though, going to be locked in. I do like that for MU, though. It does dissuade quite a bit of the engage that, you have the Kled coming in with charge, you have on the hunt as well, but then you can just use your ultimate as Nautilus. You can use that death charge and stop a bit of the engage. You can hit it onto the Sivir. It forces you to use the spell shield. And if you have something like the Aatrox that wants to walk forward, then it's kind of a bad situation. Syndra, though, gonna be locked in. It's been one of the better matchups against Tristana, and now we're just waiting for that support pick. Maybe it's the J4 support. Maybe they're pulling some Korean stuff on us. I forget who it was. I think it was on Jin Air. It was popping off with J4 support.
Yeah, well, that could also be a Volibear support, which has been picking up steam as well. So that is a very big possibility. Just run him down, say we don't care, but
okay,
no, it is going to be the Pike.
That's exactly what I thought it was going to be. When I saw the Morgana ban, I'm like, are they going to pick up Pike? This is a very risky composition now for ANEW. Pike, the way his ultimate works now, he will basically get double the amount for a kill and 1.5 kills worth for an assist on his ultimate. The thing is, if you miss that ultimate, the damage is cut in half. So it's basically like an auto attack. It does absolutely nothing at this point. So for ANEW, they are going full in. They want to fight MU. And this has been ANEW's strategy. They've gone off. They've kind of lost lane quite a few times. But they come back with rotations. And they're just like, okay, they're kind of like TSM from 2017, where it's like, okay, you can smash us in the early game. We don't really care. We'll drag this game out to 30 minutes and kick you up and down the rift with our team fight.
And that is one of the crazier things that we get to see, especially since ANEW has always had a great view of things. They always have a possibility of making a win in. But again, this is against Maryville. This is a composition that you don't want to give anything towards. They're touted as one of the best up-and-coming amateur teams that has a very stacked roster. So this is, the thought process of, we have a very strong team composition against another very strong team. If you aren't able to do that, you fall behind. But looking at it overall, I mean, it's going to be interesting considering I believe that's an Aatrox jungle or a Nautilus jungle, one or the other.
It'll most likely...
It is an Aatrox jungle. Oh my lord.
Most likely be Aatrox jungle. And the Trisk will go down to ADC. So, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world here for the side of MU. I am always kind of iffy on Aatrox jungle, just for the simple fact that if the J4 finds him early and is able to get a bunch of auto attacks off, and for Iconic, if he's not able to land the sweet spot on that Q all 3 times, he is going to get dumped on. And that's kind of where Aatrox jungle, falls out. You want to get to that CDR point. You want to be able to use your ultimate, get that lifesteal back, use your passive. But when you're in the jungle, it kind of becomes a bit more difficult. And to get those ganks off as efficiently as someone like a Nori on this J4, it becomes damn near impossible.
It is, but we do see the Karma Nautilus in the bot lane quite possibly. They still do have a little bit of time to swap. But again, if this is the lineup that MU have actually gone for in terms of champion selection, this is going to make it extremely interesting.
We'll wait to see on it. We can talk about ANEW's roster here, where we've seen Blower and Sheep throughout the season have really good games and really bad games. And it's kind of been a thorn in ANEW's side. As of late, though, they've been looking really good together. You've had a Nori throw a bit more resources into the bot lane. We've seen Fire be able to solo kill people like Julian over and over again. I mean, it's not that bad, and it's gonna be the Karma bot. Okay. Okay.
I like it. So we are getting into the spectator delay here, and I know you have a lot to say, but we'll have to save it for in-game here. I do want to get one last opinion from you, just from these team compositions. Who do you think is going to come out on top for game number 1?
Listen, I'm gonna say ANEW.
Alright.
If I'm wrong, I'm not really surprised. Because MU can pull something. They're maybe thinking 4th dimensionally, and I'm just not.
All right. Well, we have it in here. ANEW for Sordo. I'm going to go with MU just to have a bit of fun here. But before we do go into our short break, I do want to give a huge shout out to our one of our sponsors here is HyperX. If you're looking for great equipment to take your game to the next level, look no further than HyperX. HyperX is one of the premier names in the industry, providing gamers with all the right tools and equipment needed to bring the best to the table. They have everything from keyboards and mice to headsets and audio equipment, which even us at Upsurge have had the opportunity to use here, which is awesome. So don't wait, and make sure to get your HyperX gear over at hyperxgaming.com. HyperX, because we're all gamers. So with that, we will be getting into game number 1 to see if MU can pull out the win or if ANEW are just going to shrug off the 4-ban loss and say, we got more in the tank. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 1 between ANEW Esports and Maryville University. We have on that blue side, starting Artist in the top side, and Nori in the jungle, 5fire at mid lane, and Blower and Sheep rounding out that bottom lane for ANEW Esports.
And on the red side, we have Maryville University in the top lane, Hybrids in the jungle, Iconic, Honeybee in the mid lane, Evan RL and One Shady in the bot lane. Ooh, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this, guys. Get that hook on Sheep.
Oh, they're looking for it. Oh, he does dodge up, but that does mean the laning phase will be slightly easier. No hook coming out from Pyke at level 1, which has to feel nice.
And no, doesn't hit the drive. Can't quite hit the hook. But no, like you said, it's a very good thing to get Pyke to start E now level 1. Because like you said, it does eliminate quite a bit of pressure coming out from Sheep there. So now for the side of MU, even though they have, you know, a different bot lane, we'll put it at that, this time, they can now play a bit more aggressive. I'm surprised, though, not to see Evan take Klepto, because you would think that he'd want to do that, but I can see why he wouldn't. but it's kind of surprising to see a Karma that's not support, not using Cleanse.
That is very true, but maybe also respecting a little bit of the range factor, doesn't want to take too many trades offhanded. So may just be going for that hard poke in that mid lane. Honeybee really laying it down as fast as possible. That is going to be 5 fire with those 2 potions, so no corrupting potions coming out.
Yeah, that's also a bit shocking here to not see the corrupting potion. I mean, it's not as much poke as one may think coming out from an Akali, but it's definitely useful to keep that mana sustain and push the Akali out of lane while you are able to stay within the lane without having mana restraints. So definitely would have liked to see the corrupting potion, but the Akali is already forced to use that pot. Honeybee is trying his hardest to continue to poke out. He has the fleet footwork, he can sustain back up, but he just loses this right now 1v1.
It also goes to show that I feel he's not respecting a little bit, because a lot of Akalis tend to actually run the door and shield against someone as poke heavy as a Syndra. So not taking that has definitely stunted his early game, but we'll have to see how it goes. Nice hook out. Oh, big damage in that mid lane. Honeybee almost going down, but is able to save the flash and teleport, but has to automatically back away.
Yeah, he has to back here. There's nothing that he can do. And the thing is, he has no idea where the enemy jungler is, so he has to respect that dive potential as well. They do see both of them in the top side. Syndra is going to get the early roam, so it's going to force Iconic off of the Scuttle Crab, and he might just get double scuttled right here.
Yeah, it actually looks like it might, but again, Honeybee actually came back with only half health, so trying to get back to collect some of that CS and experience, but instead puts himself in a very rough position that does allow J4 to, like you said, get that double scuttle, get massive advantages for his team.
Well, it's more he had to immediately teleport because he thought something was going to happen in that river. He kind of just lapsed in the judgment, not realizing that Iconic could just go over the wall here. Honeybee, though, getting extremely low. Luckily, 5 Fire went with the heal here. If not, he'd probably be dead to a flash sphere.
Yeah, they're looking for it. Honestly, Inori staying top, but Sheep trying to get some damage on as well on the top side. We do see starting artist laying down the poke here. Well, that's going to be very difficult. Inori actually setting up for what looks to be a tower dive here. Nice stun under the tower. That's going to be the hit one. Oh, he auto minion though. Inori auto one minion, and that's unfortunate. Now he has to run the other way. Heal has been used, but it looks like he will go down. Flashes for it as well, but that's going to be a kill. Woo! Oh, and in the top side, Hybrid makes it. Starting artist paints a very nice picture with the flash into a wall.
Dyrus, is that you? Just misses the flash, sits there all depressed. Like, well, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Definitely an interesting play in the mid lane. Big misplay there coming out from Inori, though. Does auto the minion, and then doesn't flash. Thinks that he has more HP than he does, and just dies to the tower. So it ends up being not the worst thing for Honeybee there. Even though now Syndra does get lane priority quite a bit here, it's definitely not the worst that could have happened. Though Iconic did burn his flash to try to get the kill, it still works out pretty well for Maryville.
I would have to agree. You already see the level advantage for Iconic right now. One level up about, I want to say 3 camps or 2 camps right there. Scout of the Week doesn't land the stun. So Honeybee definitely raving a little bit there, trying to give himself a little bit more room, and we are into a pause here. So again, it looks like that, little first fight caused some issues.
A little bit of lag there on 5 Fire. We're going to get right back into the game. Already back to where he needs to be. But again, he is, not ahead at this point just because Honeybee got the kill, but is staying pretty even. So it's not the worst thing in the world to happen. They're trying to look for something bot lane. Sheep, though.
Yeah, nice pull. Nice pull back in. Sheep taking a lot of damage, and that's another pause coming out. So unfortunate timing here. A little bit iffy on the situation, but again, understandable. If you're having issues, it does cause problems, so they're trying to check it out as quickly as possible. But it is surprising to see this because if you're looking down the lanes, usually you take Tristana in the top lane to try and get an advantage. But it's the same issue that I feel a lot of mages also have if you're running them in the top side. Any other champion that has a dash is going to cause multiple problems for you, such as a Kled.
Yeah, you kind of just want to continue farming, get up to that Bork, and then go from there. Tristana's base damage is actually fairly high, so she should be able to be okay into it. But right now, starting Artist does have charge, so Hybrids does need to be careful that if he gets the charge off plus the E afterwards, you can definitely follow him all the way towards the turret. Maybe get that tower dive. Right now, Hybrids doesn't have flash, neither does starting Artist.
Yeah.
Still might not turn out in their favor. Blower, though, forced to burn his flash.
Yeah, straight into the bottom lane as we crest 6 minutes 10 seconds there. That is a nice summoner blown on the bottom side, and it was unfortunate that that they got caught out right there in the pause. But again, at least they didn't die. That's a huge thing, I feel. So that's always a positive to look at.
Yeah, and I mean, when you face off against mages like this, especially things like Karma, you just want to continue to survive. Once you're able to get that Essence Reaver on Blower, once you get, you know, PG, good flash by Qualifier.
Yeah, really good flash there. It does keep him out of harm's way. He doesn't have any other defensive summoner spells. That's nice. Hook back in. Hybrids has to hop away. But again, a nice roam coming out of one Shady. Again, bottom lane was already pressed up, so there's no reason for him to be bot. Now Qualifier has to play extremely safe in that bottom lane. Or mid lane, sorry.
I'm kind of surprised Hybrids jumped out instead of jumping in there. That he might have had the kill. But
yeah, that's hopefully something, you know, testing the damage waters. And again, the possibility is here as we do see starting Artist look for that kill, but doesn't get it. But Honeybee actually going pretty heavy, and that's going to be the Unleashed Power. That's just a straight-up solo kill for Qualifier. Meanwhile, on the top side, Skarl has been popped. Meanwhile, in the bottom side as well, plays across the map. Kind of goes right away. They're waiting for it. That's a flash out from both bottom laners for MU, but that's going to be a nice turnaround as it comes. Oh, Aatrox is coming as well. This could be a nice rotational gank, but unfortunately, they're a little bit too far away. Iconic, not able to get in just yet. Heather breaks as well.
No, he's going to be able to get out. Did the smart thing when hit by the Infernal Change. Just walk to the left or walk to the right to get out of it. But great gank there. X-Flash looking for something here.
Yep, a little cheeky one, to say the least. A little bit of a poke going down, but again, Blower had that spell shield available, ready to go. No problems there.
I mean, right now, the way the game looks, it was good gank there by Inori. You burn 2 flashes, but other than that, you don't really get much of anything there. Inori not burning his flash, though. Great summoner discipline down in the bot lane. Was able just to walk out of Evan's W. So, not too terrible there right now. Inori having quite a bit more pressure than Iconic at this point. Honeybee, though, needs to be careful. Even though Unleashed Power isn't up yet, it'll be up very soon, and you can't be taking trades like that.
Not at all, and this is the advantage that Qualifier has given himself in that mid lane. Even though he's only 1-0-1, you can already see him accruing that 20 CS lead. That will only grow larger if Iconic does not attempt to help this mid lane. If he's already designated mid as a no-go zone for a gank, this just means Honeybee will be online much later into the game.
Yeah, no. Oh, they're going.
Here we go. Yeah, as we were saying, this is it. They want to get that over. Honeybee will pick that one up, but now Evan RL is going to be the possible scope out. He is running back into the lane because, of course, he couldn't really get out. So, picked up, dropped into the ground. That is a 1-for-1 across the map, but again, Honeybee now getting that pressure relieved in that mid lane.
Yeah, and I mean, look at that Pike gold that he just got. He got the kill, plus another 300, plus the extra 300 onto Inori. So, I mean, that is a massive turnaround kill. And this is why Pike is so good right now.
Oh my lord! Evan RL said hi. Oh, wait. No, that was a bad teleport. They immediately blow him up, so he just loses all of his summoners for nothing. That's a massive misplay coming out of Maryville University.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Well, my team might say I'm running it. I was definitely not the play coming out from Evan, disrespecting the fact that Inori could still be there, and Sheep just basically walked up and queued. There wasn't really anything else that happened there. QE def.
Yep.
So, very big misplay there from Evan. Turret platings do go in favor of ANEW, and now their gold lead is starting to build almost at 3K 10 minutes into the game.
And that is deafening, possibly coming out here. Again, the early gold leads are always what you want. The larger the gold lead at the early game, the better you'll have transitioning into the mid to late game, of course. Mid lane, we do see a Luden's Echo almost being completed by Fire. In that jungle side, you already see the Warrior Enchantment on top of the Combative Smite, and top lane CS advantage as well. So all lanes going in favor of ANEW right now.
Yeah, no, and the thing is that for the side of ANEW, they have the late game scaling really hard. Kled scales really well. Blower Sivir scales really well. If Sheep can get his death from below off over and over again, like get those resets, it is disgusting the amount of damage that he can do here. The only issue is Honeybee.
Yeah, here we go, and that's another perfect execution. He does pick it up, so Honeybee picks up a solo kill there. That's going to be the rest of the team collapsing in here, though. They go all the way in. Death from below actually misses as starting Artist actually goes all the way in. Sheep's going to be channeled out. Iconic picks that one up, and so does starting Artist. He gets taken down by Hybrids. The buzzer shot claiming the first kill, as Jasana is now roaming into the mid lane, trying to chase out the bottom lane, and with a very solid turnaround, MU do decide that they are going to continue here. Spell Shield actually using, channeled too early, and that's going to be another kill coming out. Blower actually goes golden as Inori picks up that one. Actually, that goes over to Sivir, but Blower still dies. Massive kills going across as the cleanup crew is here. Inori run down, and I believe overall that's actually going to be even in a 4-for-4 trade.
Yeah, very extended fight there. But I think MU comes out ahead here. You put kills onto the Tristana, you put kills onto the Aatrox, and they're going to be the ones that are going to carry you through that mid-game. Sivir goes down almost instantly. Same with Sheep. Almost. I thought he was going to get it. That's why I didn't say anything. But definitely a good job there by MU. Now cutting that 3K gold lead down to about 1,000. But still, great Scout of the Week there. Coming out by Fire.
Yeah, and I believe I was actually wrong. I believe that was only a 2-for-2, but 4 kills total. So I got one of the numbers right, just in a horrible order. But again, that was a very extensive fight overall that afforded both teams a little bit of time to really get work done on these towers. Again, we're looking at the plates across the map, and you see a definitive advantage coming out for ANEW Esports. That is, I believe, 3 taken in the top side, 1 in the mid, and 1 on the bot, versus just 2 taken by Maryville University.
Yep, and I mean, this is kind of where the lead is starting to build for ANEW. They just need to continue on doing what they're doing here. Sivir already has the Essence Reaver. Now it's going to be pretty massive for her. Shady, not in a bad situation. Forced to flash the Scatter of the Week. Was going to be able to get out of there with his life. Great rotate there by ANEW. They're going to try to force down the bot tower as 3. And this Karma cannot defend this. So this will most likely just be them brute forcing this bot tower.
Yeah, and another dangerous part that they have here is Jasana is great at taking towers when she has a team with her. Right now, she is forced to go against starting Artist, who honestly has a much easier time running her down when she's alone than, when she has a team around her. So Hybrid is not able to siege that tower as much as he wants. First tower over to ANEW Esports, and they are just attempting to roll through this early game.
Yep, they're able to get Shelly into the second tower, so that's going to be quite a bit of damage, putting it to about 60% HP. So right now it's looking pretty good for ANEW. They need to continue pushing this early game, though. The Trist is starting to scale a little bit. Akali does have quite a bit of one-shot potential.
Oh no, that's unfortunate. Hybrid already used the rocket jump there, and so starting artist is just going to follow up, but the return damage, and there it is. Scarl has been popped. Firefire as well is looking to be popped down. Iconic collects that one, and on the top side, Hybrid escapes with his life. The mid lane Firefire drops.
Yeah, Hybrid's able to just get the reset off of the E, so is able to get his W back off. But 4 towards the top side. Starting artist not in the best position. Iconics can 1v1 him.
Yep, and they're looking for it. He has been dismounted right here, and he doesn't have an ult, but in comes Anori saying, I want a little bit of that. Oh, nice Cataclysm keeps him in from the blasting cone, so he popped to the wrong side. Death from below actually misses as well. But starting artist actually flashes over into 2 other members, and in a horrible turn of events for himself, the poor Yordle is going to go down to the Titan of the Depths. That is going to be a 1-0 after a very hectic jungle fight.
Yeah, again, Sheep missing the death from below, and starting artist just not on the same page as Anori. He wanted to go all the way in, but no one else wanted to. It kind of sounds like Kled as the actual character. Maybe might be playing as starting artist.
Oh, Sheep almost made that happen, and Tristana hiding off in the corner barely gets away. That was risky. That was risky.
Just sitting there like, you know what? I just want to fight fires somewhere else that isn't right here. You know, I'll take a rain check on that. Give me like 20 minutes and I'll be back. I'll be back. I promise. But like, not right now. You see, you know, I got to change the checkings into the savings, and I just can't afford that. But I mean, great job there by Maryville. They pick up 2 kills, and it's working out well for them. They're starting to build a lead onto Iconic, which is what you want to see. You want to get that Aatrox out of that early game and let him get towards that late game monster that he is. I don't like the fact that he took Aftershock here. It's going to hurt him quite a bit once we get into that mid-late game team fights. Not going to have that much healing, and the tank stats that you get are kind of negligible in this sense. But he's definitely still going to be strong. Almost towards his Black Cleaver is about 200 gold away, give or take. So once he gets that, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Tristana still farming up. Though the CS numbers this game, not as high as what we'd expect normally.
Not at all, and that also is due to the numerous fighting across the map. We've actually seen both teams roam as a squad multiple times to try and help their laners out. They don't spare any expense. In that mid lane, I think is the only one that they really have spared an expense, where you see Firefire constantly get jumped on, and so it is quite dangerous. But oh, nice Scout of the Week does catch, but that is an immediate stun in from Honeybee, and even Firefire tried to flash, doesn't help. Lower also going extremely low, but no, that is going to be the kill for Inori, and suddenly everything popping off, and Maryville starting to get control of the wheel a little bit more.
You just had to say that they're going to go blow up Firefire, and that's exactly what they do. Just take him off the map. It's an easy pick. He didn't respect any of the stuns. Didn't go cleanse. Instantly dies for it. That's the hook, though.
Yeah, shitty under the tower as well. They do knock the tower down, but he took too many tower shots. He's not very tanky just yet, but he is going to survive just barely. And now it is the pop-off coming out from that World Ender. Does get the crushing blow. One more strike might do it. He doesn't have the heal though. He gets out of tower range just in time. And with a little bit of a hefty tower dive, Maryville come out with another kill.
He's looking for it.
Yeah, this could be another one. No, Sheep wisely backs off. So only 1 kill in the tower for them, but still, first tower of the game, and evening the gold up, actually taking the lead now.
I'm surprised Iconic wasn't in range for the...
That was unfortunate right there.
I absolutely hate to see that.
Yep, and another miss from Sheep. So honestly, Maryville playing this a little bit on the tightrope, but overall doing fairly well.
I mean, right now they have a bit of a lead. They need to continue to push this, though, however, because once that Sivir hits 3 items, that's when things start to go in ANEW's favor. They'll be able to engage really hard. That J4, now that he's done building his damage, needs to start going towards that tank. Most likely a Knight's Vow, something like that, to keep Blower alive. That he's going to be the one to carry you throughout this mid and late game. 5 fire right now, just needs to stop dying. That right now, if he continues to die, he is most likely going to cost his team the game.
That is true, and honestly, as an immobile mid lane mage against 2 stuns and hooks and, you know, ultimates coming out, it's difficult to say if it's exactly his fault, right? This is a champion that excels in bursting people out, but that's the trade-off. And if they focus you, there is no way out, really. So it's unfortunate to say, but yes, he has been the most vulnerable member of the side of ANEW Esports so far, 1-4-2, which has afforded a little bit of mid lane pressure, and we already see Honeybee taking advantage 5-3-5 so far in this game.
Yep, and I mean, right now, it's mostly on Iconic and Hybrids to just continue to push their leads. Trist is sitting at 2-1. They're trying to go on to her. They're not going to find her.
And actually caught that tail end of Scarl, and that's going to be a huge dive. Hybrid goes down immediately, but still takes one with him. That's going to be a 1-for-1 trade right there. Trade of a top laner for a ADC. So ADC is both going down. But that does mean that Maryville University just get free reign of this top side. This could be devastating for ANEW Esports.
I'm really surprised that the charge coming out from Kled even went like and hovered on towards Hybrids. That's going to be the tower for Scar. They're just picking up towers all over the place.
Yeah, but here goes the fight going in. Charge is used. Depth charge has been used, and that's going to be a kill number 1 for Maryville. They're looking to scatter them all, and that's a flash into a wall as ANEW Esports are running in fierce, scattered to the winds, with everyone from Maryville University cleaning up those kills very easily. Scatter the Weak collects one more. That might be a kill. No! As all the shielding actually survives, and in an extremely clean fight, take a overall 5-for-1, but 4-for-0 right there.
Yeah, they're gonna just take Baron here. I mean, it's kind of just a free game now for Maryville. Gonna easily take up this Baron. No real chance of a steal here coming out from ANEW. And 22.5 minutes in, free Baron for them, and now is gonna begin the push. You have the Tristana with the Baron. You have this Aatrox, who is now becoming quite a bit of a monster. And once you start playing around that, that's when everything starts to go downhill for the side of ANEW.
And honestly, it does hurt whenever you see Fire not able to one-shot the support. That means that right now his firepower is definitely lacking. So, I mean, where would you look to if you're ANEW Esports? Where would you look to really start coming back in this game?
Sivir.
Still waiting on Sivir.
Your only hope is Sivir at this point. You need to wait for her to get to that IE and to just sit in the back line and auto. That's kind of how Sivir compositions work. You have a really beefy front line with Inori, with starting artists, but until that comes to fruition, you're kind of just screwed. Hybrids only really needing 2 items to be relevant, so that's all you kind of need.
Yeah, and he's already online, has that Borg plus the Phantom Dancer. Red team has picked up that dragon, so Maryville University enjoying a 3-dragon buff right now. Has to feel good for them, but Iconic clearing out the ward vision, that's something that we haven't been able to talk about. Look at the vision scattered around the map. Honestly, for how far behind they are, ANEW Esports have definitely kept a heavy, aggressive line of fire. And Nori actually jumping to the back line. That's going to be his flag and drag down. He's just going to be jumped on right there. He does use the Cataclysm as well, but he gets popped right back out. Shady picks that one up. In goes Scarl charging all the way in the back line, but immediately backs right back out. Hook whiffs, and that was a very questionable play coming out of Inori.
What? Why? I don't see what he sees there in going for a play like that. You don't really gain anything off of that. You just die. Now you give up the mid tower, most likely the inhibitor tower as well. The Sivir is not strong enough to wave clear this. They hook onto her. Good spell shield, however. Side of the weak hits onto the Nautilus, but that's about it. I don't know. Inori is probably going to cost his team the inhibitor tower here. They pull the siege minion in to try to save the tower quite a little bit. Nori is back up. See if he can do something. Cataclysm still isn't up.
That it is, and the question comes, where do they try and focus? All members of ANEW Esports are up. They might just try and concede this tower right now. That might be the option, but no, a jump in, and oh, Honeybee goes up for the assassination, picks up Firefire for his 7th kill of the game, and in goes Anori, and that means a signal to kill him as well. That's going to be a kill in the Cataclysm ultimate animation. Immediate 2 kills and an immediate inhibitor. That signals a retreat with the base broken for ANEW Esports. On the hunt has been popped as well, and now the depth charge actually going out as well. Nice Satch gets amount of clearance, but they get Scarl, they get Kled, and that's going to be him knocked over. That's going to be the ult. Death from below does collect bones, but what cost did it come at? That is going to be 3 dead for the team for another 10 seconds at least, and then they go all the way in the back line. Starting Artist is in that Scarl form, so he does pick up 1. He's trying his best to defend, but he gets dismounted once again, gets another tower. A huge Mantread Q lands, but he lives with 1 HP. Very scattered fight right there, but again, base broken for ANEW is the big thing. Charge has gone out. That is a TP. They're still on the chase here. Starting Artist trying to look for it. This is such an elongated fight here. You see Maryville trying to run away. They collected their gold. They want to go back and spend it without dropping any of these massive bounties right now. That looks like it's going to go all quiet. Oh no, Evan RL got found out, and that's going to be Anori picking that one up. But look at the healing, actually. The shields are huge right now, but no. 700 gold going over to Anori right now. Iconic, ooh, doing a little bit of fancy feet work, getting his way over the wall. But elongated team fight means a multiple kills picked up and the base broken, and ANEW left very slightly crushed.
Yeah, kind of a questionable re-engage there from Maryville. They tried to find something that wasn't really there for them, and it costs them a little bit here. They're still very much so in the lead, so it's not the worst thing in the world. So it doesn't really matter all too much. Right now for ANEW, they need that Sivir to hit 3 items. She's maybe... No, there it is. So she's at 3 items, has the Executioner's Calling at as well. So now it's time to fight.
There it is. Looking at it overall, again, a quiet game, but we do see that 3K lead up, going up very close, about 800 away from 4K. But honestly, if you look down the gold sheet there, I mean, honestly, the early game for Honeybee wasn't great, but now sitting with the sole possession of all of the advantage gold there, sitting at 12, almost 13,000 gold versus Syndra's 9K. Disgusting lead for Honeybee right now. But here they go, another fight in that jungle side. The Fnatic Death Brush has been popped, but that's going to be one shitty going extremely low. But here we go, a huge pop going in the back line. That's 1 for 1 so far, and the health bars are bleeding right now. One more auto collects a double kill for Iconic right there, and now Starting Artist has to run away. Doesn't have the ultimate either, gets dismounted, gets destroyed. That is a 4-4-2 in favor of Maryville as they just power down that mid lane.
Yeah, and this is most likely just going to be the end of the game here. You got the Tristana, cool. Doesn't really matter. The Akali is the one that's fed. That and Iconic are the 2 massive carries here. 28.5 minutes in, almost 29 minutes. That's going to be the last Nexus Tower. And yeah, 29 minutes in. Number 1 is going to go over to Maryville. As Anori's trying to do something, he's not going to amount to anything.
The team just said, we don't care about Evan, it's okay. He'll survive somehow. Just leave him out to dry there. But again, game number 1 going to Maryville, but not without some issues, right? That early game did seem a little bit suspect, with Firefire getting a little bit of control in that early game.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I feel if for the side of ANEW, they just played it a tad bit better, and Firefire just didn't get caught out as much as he was. Mind you, Shady was roaming like an absolute monster there. He was able to get to the mid lane, hit Firefire with the depth charge, hit him with the hook, and just kill him over and over and over again. It got Honeybee really far ahead, and from there, he just carried the game. 10-3-11, had some of the higher CS numbers in the game, and just kind of put the team on his back with Iconic there. Even though the bot lane was still kind of questionable, with the Karma Nautilus, it was still really strong. When you have a Fed Bruiser and a Fed Assassin, you kind of just run through a team and make a ADC and Mage useless.
That has to be true. And now ANEW, they will get all 4 of their bans back. All 5 bans are on the table now. But where do their changes lie? What do you think needs to change for them to be able to come back in this series?
You need 5 Fire just to play safe. If you take away all the kills and all the pressure that was obtained by 5 Fire dying, you have a completely different game. Starting Artist, even though he was behind, was doing okay. Inori died due to the fact that Honey Beast was just way too fed. They tried to dive mid. It just didn't work out with Sheep in that mid game. So as long as 5 Fire now has a decent laning phase and doesn't have a collapse like in this game, it should be okay for ANEW. We have seen them bounce back. We have seen them do reverse sweeps. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, and ANEW is definitely not out of the series.
All right, well, we'll have to see if they can pull it back in game number 2, or if ANEW will be able to take it, or if Maryville University, will be able to take it in a straight 2-0 series. But again, we will be right back with game number 2 here in just a little bit, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Again. Again. Once again.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 between Maryville University and ANEW Esports. Although ANEW were down 4 bans in the early game, we did see a nice fight being put up in the early game. But again, Maryville University did take that win in game number 1. So game number 2, we do see all the bans coming out, and immediately Karma and Aatrox taken off the table by ANEW. And again, same bans coming out of Maryville University so far.
Yeah, it doesn't really surprise me to see those Aatrox and Karma bans. Definitely big influencers throughout that first game. And giving those over to MU proved to be way too much. So we do see the Quirky ban though coming out in the first rotation. So ANEW cannot pick that up. Nautilus also going to be banned out as well. Doesn't really surprise me. But it kind of points me in the direction that ANEW is going to just pick up Sivir Yumi here. Silas, though, going to be given over. This will most likely be in the jungle here.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you still have Sivir Yumi up, so you kind of just want to, yoink that up.
Yep. Definitely take that away. And that also, sometimes in the back of some players' minds is, you now have a Silas on the table. What ultimates do we not want to give him to work with, right? You might not want to give him that, the Orin Horn. You might not want to give him the Cataclysm. You might not want to give him all these abilities. So, a Jace being locked in, a blind pick for ANEW. And Elise as well. Interesting.
Okay. The words of Tyler, the Creator, I'm just here to piss you off. Okay. Like, what? So you leave up Sivir Yumi, you leave up Ezreal Yumi, you leave up quite a bit, you leave up the Kled as well. That doesn't have that bad of a matchup into Jace. Elise, though a bit of a counter to Silas, not the biggest counter in the world. So, questionable picking coming out here from ANEW. See what MU picks as this last pick here. You can still pick up Sivir, yeah. I mean, very questionable here.
Yeah. This is MU going, all right, you did the speed up comp last time, we'll do the same. The one shining light for ANEW right now is Silas only has 2 transformations to go for right now.
I mean, there are going to be other ultimates, so it's not really too much of a concern, Silas, you do want to hijack, better ultimates than what you see here. You have the Draven as well.
Oh my lord.
So, I guess ANEW's just going for the fact that, we just don't want to give you any ultimates. Well, you're kind of drafting a questionable team behind that fact. Braum, though, going to be taken off. Draven is countered really hard here by Braum. So not really a surprise to see that one go. Azir going to be taken off as well. Fire did have some really good performances on Azir. So it's going to be not the champion that he's going to play today.
Can agree with that. And it does also look that ANEW have kind of thought, okay, we won the early game a little bit. We just need a little bit more oomph. So maybe they're going for a little bit more early game pressure. Elise and Jace are 2 of the more popular champions to use to abuse those early laning phases. Elise with the Cocoon, multiple spell rotations, Draven. Again, if Draven even gets 1 kill early, he will be steamrolling through the rest of the game. So, possibly going for just straight kills in the lane, but we'll have to see. Double support banned away from ANEW, or by ANEW. Alistar also the last ban from MU, and immediately the Recon pickup. So, nice CC and a nice engage option from ANEW Esports.
They still do need a bit of a front line here. They have AD threats. They have the Elise that if she can get ahead early is pretty threatening, but you still have quite a bit up for MU. They pick up the LeBlanc, so now you're kind of forcing that Jace into the top lane. But if he has to face LeBlanc here, it's not going to be that fun of a time for him. Just waiting on the support pick here for MU. Still have things like the Nami, like the Lulu still up. You still have Yumi up, especially. It would kind of surprise me if MU doesn't pick it up. Yeah.
Yep.
They went straight meta, and it really doesn't surprise me.
Yep. So now we're looking for either a top or mid, but as you said, Jay's probably top. Looking for that mid lane counter. What do you think?
You can go something like an Orianna to try to engage with the Rakan. You can go the Syndra. I wouldn't want him to go Syndra. My most hated champion in the game, Zoe. I'll be locked in. I think this champion is so many words I cannot say on stream. But, fill in the blanks. And it probably fits in. Good champion to pick into LeBlanc as long as you can hit and sleep the trouble bubble. If you miss it, you're kind of in a crappy situation. She can avoid the ganks coming out from the Sylas. It's not that good of an ultimate to steal for Sylas. So, it's not the worst thing in the world. But definitely very questionable drafting here coming out from ANEW.
You do have to kind of wonder what exactly was their composition going for. Were they going for more skirmish heavy? Were they going for more siege potential? Were they looking to try and maybe catch Iconic out? Because, again, the early game for Maryville, we've already seen, was quite slow. It was a little bit more methodical, right? The tower dives were there. And it seemed in terms of the individual laning prowess, it wasn't all to be really amazed at. Right, they were down in CS, they were down in multiple areas, down in summoners at points. We saw Honeybee multiple times getting tower dove. So the question is, are ANEW going to attempt to punish that early game again and try and roll with it this time, or are they going to try and play a little bit more slow and methodical with the champions that they have?
I mean, having something like a Draven Rakan means that you can play quite a bit more aggressive than what you were last game with the Sivir lane. And if you get ahead, it's a lot more devastating. But the thing is, if this game goes towards that 35-minute mark, MU just steamrolls the game. The only chance that ANEW has here is if starting Artist is just a disgusting monster, or if Blower is really, really fed. That right now you don't have a composition that scales all too well. Jace falls off. Draven, if he's able to get in range, can one-shot Evan. But, again, he has to get in range, and it's a very risky playstyle. Zoe is still Zoe. She's God, help us all. But, for the side of MU, you have a pretty decent front line with the Kled. You have a way for Shady to get into the front line and let off that final chapter. You do have the quickness that Iconic can steal, and you have On the Hunt from Sivir. Not to mention, Honeybee can go in and blow someone up almost instantaneously. So for this game, MU definitely has outdrafted ANEW. It's just more of a question, can Blower and Sheep get ahead in that bot lane, or can starting Hardest get ahead in that top lane and just carry the game from there?
All right, so honestly, looking down, we did it last time, we'll do it this time as well. You placed your money on ANEW last time, although a little bit shaky, and this time it sounds you're swinging more towards MU, but I gotta ask, who do you have your money on here?
I mean, it has to be MU. They drafted a questionable composition. We're down 3k gold, and we're still able to win. Now they've drafted a very meta composition. The only real, question mark is LeBlanc, because I just haven't seen Honeybee play it. But if it's anything like his previous champions that he's played throughout the tournament, it'll be fine regardless. So definitely MU.
All right, MU is a slot for Sordo. Did swap a little bit of the side, but I think that's okay. But we will be getting into the intermission here shortly. But before we do, I do want to talk about one of our other fantastic sponsors, Midwest Esports. Midwest Esports has been around for quite a few years, starting as a small student group out of Wichita State University. Since then, Midwest Esports has grown to be one of the veteran organizers of tournaments and events throughout the U.S. They host tournaments for games such as League of Legends, Rocket League, as well as Overwatch. For more information, please check them out at MidwestEsports.com. So we will see you back here in just a few moments with game number 2 between ANEW Esports and Maryville University. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 between ANEW Esports and Maryville University. We do have Maryville University now playing on the blue side with quite a few stacked champions here. These are a lot of champions that were banned out last time. Yumi, the Silas as well. So we're going to see if that can, turn the tides a little bit in this game of the early game, or if the side of ANEW with their interesting picks of Jace and Draven and Elise as well can bring a win about.
So you have Phase Rush Jace and Dark Harvest Yumi. Huh. Interesting. Good spell shield by Evan. That does cost him a bit in this lane, though. I would have much rather seen him just eat the E coming out from Sheep and not spell shield it. So now we kind of come into the same situation as last game where Shady tried to hit the hook onto Sheep and Sheep was forced to start E. Now we're going to see the reverse. Evan going to start that E. Now it's not what you want to see. You want to be able to throw that boomerang blade and try to get something going. Bit of trading in the top lane though. Trying to get some early game poke.
Yeah, it's been very good for them, and honestly, that's what ANEW needs. They need that lead in the bottom lane. They need a chance to really get Blower ahead, and honestly, Nori was also quite, in my opinion, quiet in game number 1, right? He had attempted a lot, but with the Elise, you do want to get rolling as soon as possible. So we'll have to see if he can make something work with this Elise. If not, the whole point of picking Elise will be forgotten, basically.
Maybe the spell shield start was like 4th dimensional again. And I'm not big brain enough to realize it. Does dissuade Sheep yet again with the spell shield, but again, now you're going to concede a lot of CS, going to miss hitting level 2 by quite a bit here. Be able to spell shield it again.
Yeah, and maybe that was the big brain play. Again, Evan RL making sure he doesn't get chunked out excessively here. And that's something that I think is really good on them for that, because again, the overpowering pressure of Draven and Rakan in that bottom lane can be devastating. So mitigating some of that by not getting knocked up, by not taking that damage, means not only will Yumi be able to save the mana, but it's going to help quite a bit in terms of just balancing out the lane. But we already see Nori looking for that bot lane gank.
Sleepy Bubble Trouble does hit. Gonna use the free exhaust given, get those 3 auto attacks out. Nori, though, like you were saying, trying to look for things early, not gonna be able to find it. So now both junglers are just gonna trade Scuttle Crabs here. Gonna spot out the vision placed there by starting Artist, who is having a pretty good lane here. Kled not really able to do much of anything until he gets Tiamat. Able to clear the waves, maybe go straight towards the Ninja Tabais here. Be the worst idea. Nori trying to look for something. But again, it's a LeBlanc. Going to be able to distort away. Even he doesn't even throw the cocoon. He's like, I ain't going to get anything.
Not worth the mana loss, just let it hold.
Even though he has a blue buff, not worth it.
Yeah,
confirmed.
Something like that. But again, we do see them slowly going over to the lanes right now, and so that was a little bit interesting though, because with junglers, oh, a nice jump in actually. Firefire takes a chunk of damage, and Honeybee as well takes a chunk back, but both of them running the corrupting pots. I do believe Honeybee actually looked like took the excessive mana potions within the
Biscuits.
not the biscuits, sorry. It boosts the
Time Warp Tonic.
Yes, that's it. Thank you so much. Time Warp Tonic. Good lord, I can't remember all my stuff.
Yeah, so you want the Inspiration Tree, second one, Time Warp Tonic, and Biscuits, which isn't really that surprising. A lot of mid laners have been seeing it. And I mean, it does sustain your mana up quite well in the lane. And I mean, great job there by Honeybee. He knew that he was going to, go to sleep there. So he jumps in forward to try to mitigate a bit of the damage that's going to come out from the Paddle Star. That, as we know, the further the Paddle Star goes, the more damage it'll do. The Guardian there by Sheep. Going to be able to keep Blower pretty healthy here. But again, Blower is down CS in this lane, and that's not what you want to be seeing. You need him to either get a kill or stay ahead in CS, and right now he's doing neither.
Yeah, and that's a scary thought to have. So we'll have to see how it goes. And, you know, I think a huge part of it is, again, ANEW want to apply that pressure. They want to take control of that early game once again. This time around, they have the CS advantage again, looking down the lane in that top and mid. But as you said, that bottom lane is going to be a problem. And Nori has yet to throw a first game gank, same as Iconic. They're actually meeting in the jungle a little bit. So very quiet early.
Yep, I mean, Iconic is content in farming. He doesn't really care all too much. And Nori, though, needs to be looking for something here that, again, he falls off really hard as this game progresses. He has maybe another 10 to 15 minutes of relevancy before he kind of becomes irrelevant other than the long-range cocoon stunts.
And that's how it's going to be as we see that top lane really stacking up right now in terms of farming. But we see Hybrid out of the way go in, but he's in a huge minion wave. This could be a problem. Starting out, it actually gets chunked out extremely low. Bottom lane, we do see a gang coming in here. Evan RL is getting chunked down. That's the damage coming out of Draven with Sheep tanking it all. That's going to be Blower getting first blood in a massive stack catch-in.
It's surprising the fact that, oh, wait. I think that was just a huge misplay by Shady, that both Hybrids and Evan teleported at the same time. He might have just stuck to Hybrids and not onto Evan. So he went to the top lane instead of the bot lane, and that might have just cost them any sort of relevancy that they were going to have in that lane.
Oh, that is so unfortunate right there. And that does mean that not only does Blower pick up first blood, he picked up a nice extra, about 300 gold, I believe. It was tagged as 293. So immediately comes back with the BF sword plus a Vampiric Scepter. That lane is all but done for.
Yeah. Like, you're not wrong. This lane just goes in favor of Blower now, gets one kill, and is kind of just going to take over from here. Once you get that BT into most likely IE, you can go into RFC. There's so many different builds that you can go with Draven nowadays. And now he's most likely just going to take back that CS lead. And kind of just be a disgusting monster. He's just there zoning off Evan RL. And there's not much Evan can do. He kind of just has to take it for the next 10 minutes at this point.
Yeah, and it's depressing to hear that too, because you don't want to do that by any. Then again, Sivir is one of the few that you can do, but in the mid lane, Honeybee gets a full combo down. Qualifier does launch that paddle star back in, but Honeybee actually takes no damage there, so continues getting fair trades on Qualifier, while the Nori is just running around trying to get some out. Actually gets spotted by Honeybee, so good information going over for Maryville University right now.
Yep, right now it's going pretty well for Maryville. They're even though they're down a bit of gold, you still have a lead in the mid lane.
Yeah,
and,
you do.
I mean, you scale really well into the late game, but that top lane lead.
Ooh. Big poke going on Hybrid, but bot lane we see another dive coming in. Oh, unfortunately, Shady actually got stunned out. That might be a kill going over here shortly. Annoy, one more auto attack is going to do it. So Shady is left to watch his partner die as they collect their second kill on the bottom lane. Meanwhile, top side, Iconic going after this right now. Steals the ultimate, but that's just a transformation. Nice auto attack. The Q is going to collect that kill. But bottom lane, ANEW gathering everything and tower plates as well. Full tower plates. That is first blood tower as well. So massive gold advantage coming out for ANEW Esports right now.
Yep, this is kind of what you need for ANEW. You have this early game based team composition. You need to continue to push your advantages. Now a 25 CS lead in the bot lane will translate into the BT completed 10 minutes into the game for Blower. Now the thing is, they're going to go towards the top lane. They're going to be met by Evan and Shady. It's more, can Iconic come into this lane now and try to stabilize things, maybe steal the quickness and get that shutdown onto Blower.
Is true. Another thing, there is no shutdown yet on Blower, but there might be.
Shut him down.
Yeah, shut him down for sure. Knock the stacks off. That's always a huge boost. But something to think about, Iconic is up quite a bit of farm right now. He's level 8 to Annoy 6. This is something that you see often with farm heavy junglers versus gank heavy junglers. So if Iconic is able to utilize that lead, he has a fair chance of swinging things back in his team's favor. Right now we see a fight on the bottom side a little bit. A little bit of poke as the top laners do greet each other there, and Rift Herald is being taken by Annoy as well. So global objectives going in favor of ANEW Esports.
Yeah, no, Annoy's taking this and will most likely just throw this into the top lane and continue to push Blower's lead. This is what you want to do with Draven compositions like this, where you just want to give him all the resources. Draven is the kind of champion that can hard carry a game single-handedly if given the correct amount of resources. Now up 30 CS. It's going to be Sheep in a pretty bad position. Double chains do hit. That's going to be the charge, though.
Yeah, in comes charge of the Skarl, and that's going to be the last chapter as well. Up goes Annoy, and down comes the Spider as she gets squashed by the chain of Honeybee. One kill going over in favor, but that's still a huge gold difference that they need to collapse.
Yeah, the gold surge does go towards ANEW here. Still 3k up.
Oh,
The drowsy. Good
yeah,
cleanse.
Signature level does land, but that is going to be cleansed away, and that's going to be the mid lane thwarted a little bit. Again, this heavy pressure coming out means more tower plates are going down. Nice chunk coming out. Hybrids looking to dive into the tower. Flashes forward, and here comes a 4-man dive in the top side, but a nice lockup and stun, and Taunt is going to do it. In goes the quickness once again. That's going to be a turn on the ultimate. That's a 1-4-1 so far. Now Blower looks like he wants to get another kill on the board as Annoy is up on the board, and that's going to be handed over. Double kill to Blower as he is now 3-0. Huge lead for ANEW off of a sloppy tower dive.
I mean, I get that it was 4v2 at that point in the top lane, but really misplayed there by a Hybrids. Going in way too soon, flashing in instead of just taking the dive slowly. Honeybee, though, able to dodge everything. Another turret plate going over in favor of ANEW here. Oof.
Yep.
Quite a bit of damage there. Another tower, though, going to go in favor of ANEW, and right now, this is what you want to be seeing. This early game pressure is now translating into 2 towers, kill lead, and definitely a CS lead.
And I mean, that's not even to say the amount of plates that have gone down. That, I believe, is a grand total of 13 plates going in favor of ANEW. It has accumulated in their gold lead value of close to about 4.5k already in this early game. That is so difficult to come back from.
Yep, and I mean, if any team's going to do it, it's going to be Maryville with this kind of team composition. With the Sivir that can just sit from afar and farm. As long as she, stops dying at this point, she should be able to stabilize eventually. Down 2 levels, though. So right now, Blower is in probably the strongest state that he's going to be in. He'll probably get a little bit stronger once he gets that IE. But eventually Evan will be able to stabilize this quite a bit. Once he gets that Essence Reaver into PD, he'll be able to wave clear fairly decently with that 50% crit and just go to town from there.
Still doesn't take away from the fact that Blower is currently sitting on a Bloodthirster plus another BF sword at only 15 minutes, or 14:30 right now. That means anyone he fights, considering there is no armor stacked on anyone on the side of Maryville, means he will be chunking forever. Nice charge to get out of a possible loss of Skarl and a possible summoner loss, but it's going to be a solid take right there. And now you see another jump in on that mid lane. 3 members there. Nice throw out. A nice sleepy shovel will actually threads the needle of minions. On the bot side, we do see another fight coming out. Massive skirmishes breaking out all over the map.
I'm surprised they didn't just go straight for Hybrids there. He didn't really have much of anything. No flash, no nothing. This is most likely going to be the mid tower, however, going in favor of Maryville. There isn't much that can be done there. That or it's just going to be the bot tower. They're going to pick and choose between the two. And yeah, it's going to be the bot tower going in favor of ANEW here. Already dominating the game at this point. 5k gold lead in their pocket. And it doesn't seem like they're going to slow down anytime soon.
Not at all. This is what we were wondering last time ANEW did get the early game advantages. We were just wondering because, again, they had a few issues. Oh, massive chunk. Honeybee taken down to a quarter of his health. I don't know if you saw it on your screen, but I mean, even then, there was almost nothing but another fight in that mid lane. Tower goes down, 4 towers to 0 so far. We were wondering if ANEW could ever capitalize on an early game advantage, and this is them doing that to a T. Massive rotations coming out of them, macro play rotations. Multiple kills given over to Draven. They have everything they need, you know, except for the Baron maybe, but they can't even get it now, to really shut this game down and take game number 2.
Yep, you have Blower sitting on quite a bit of gold at the moment. He's most likely going to go back within the next 1 to 2 waves here. Iconic though, finding sheep, quickness out.
Oh, nice cocoon chain goes in, and Iconic running away with the quickness, but resides to his fate. But in comes Hybrid, actually running away from the fight there. Came in from behind and said, I really don't want that fight, but here we go, a 2v1 type of fight. Blower saying, I will take that, takes the summoner out of Shady. And that's just the power of Draven right now.
Having to respect it, although Sheep...
Oh, Sheep getting found out a little bit, trying to jump away, but gets dragged back in with the claw. That's going to be another chase back out, uses everything available, but he does get slowed by the Yuumi, and that's going to be a possible deal handed over. One more auto attack will do it. No, actually dashes one more time. There it is. No mana OP. As Hybrid picks that one up. Here comes Jace, actually. Level 11 wants to try and fight this. Oh, Scar was actually popped as soon as charge was made, so unfortunately the ultimate has been burned for nothing. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, the Yuumi ends up picking the kill up there, though, which I don't really like. Would have liked to see Hybrid start to get back into this game a little bit. It's kind of one of your win conditions here. You need the Kled to be strong, and you need that Sivert to be strong as well. Down, what, 40 CS? 37 CS at this point? Just, not a fun game of League of Legends to be playing if you are Evan RL. He just needs to keep farming, needs to try to continue to be relevant for what he is, and see what happens once, you know, that 35-minute mark rolls around.
Oh, they did see him use the ultimate. That's going to be a nice jump in. Firefire has to burn the flash. He is going to try and run away, but the chain lands, and that's going to be it. As they do collect him. No, he actually got the heal as well, but he does get taken down by the prowling projectile. Yuumi collecting second kill so far of the game for him, but here comes the rest of the team. Sheep coming around the side. They do want it. Shock Blast does land. That means the back off, and they lose their mid laner in what could only be told as an unfortunate accident, but they're leaping. The Honeybee trying to do a little bit of scouting, lands the chain as well. Here we go. Oh, there it is. Big miss on the cocoon. This could be the spot that they want, and that is huge damage. Iconic coming out with a massive burst damage onto Inori. And that's 2 kills overall, handed over to Maryville University, almost on a silver platter.
Yep. The Ocean Dragon is up, however, but you still have Blower alive. Can't really fight Blower, but you can try to pick off the rest of the team. The team for ANEW right now is all Blower. If Blower dies, the game basically ends from there. They just roll, you know, the game from there. But that's going to be the Dragon coming out for the side of ANEW. 5k gold lead in their favor, but a lot of standing gold still available for the side of Maryville. Once that Sivert starts to get a few items, that's when those towers will start to fall down, and we'll see that gold lead start to shrink ever so slightly. Now this Draven sitting on 2 items, Sivert only at 1 item. This kind of is the story of how this game is going.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, at this point in the game, you could almost say Evan RL is just there for the on the hunt ultimate, right? You don't care if he really gets the items. Yes, he can be strong, but you have Honeybee, who's outputting a lot of damage. You have Iconic sitting on basically two completed items, a massive farm lead right now, as well as 3 kills, and Hybrid starting to dish out a little bit of damage, about to finish his Black Cleaver, I believe that build into. So if they can continue to find these little picks, there is a fair chance Maryville can bring this one back.
Yeah, I mean, it just has to be little by little for the side of Maryville. They need to play this game methodically like they've been playing the other games and just wait and capitalize on a mistake from ANEW. We have seen them make multiple mistakes, especially coming out from Nori. So it's just waiting for these things to happen. Get the chains of corruption on to Nori. Not going to really result in anything. Blower's there. They cannot go anywhere close to that.
Yeah, we actually Iconic looking. Yeah, Iconic looking for that little bit of a poke, but Honeybee actually gets a nice chunk, but that's going to be a huge burst. Blower picks up his 4th kill of the game right there. That is big for them as they have to run away. Oh, has to try and dodge around the Sleepy Trouble bubble, but he does survive last chapter as well as they keep coming up. Evan RL is now the next one on the fight, and Blower says, "Gimme that gold." He picks up his 6th of the game so far. Massive lead for ANEW Esports as they go to collect their prize.
Yep, 21 and a half minutes in, they're already doing Baron. This is just how strong they are. 6k gold up. And there's going to be even more after this. Whew, 7k at this point. It's a yikes. I mean, this is just great play coming out from Blower and Sheep. Definitely for the side of ANEW, they fixed their whole problem that they had with Blower and Sheep. They kind of had some crappy games in the beginning of the split, but now they are just looking like a dominating force. 6-0 on Blower, 1-2 and 7 on Sheep here, and they're just going to continue to run down the game. There isn't much the Sivir couldn't do. He's like trying to wave clear as Blower's just there like, all right, you're not doing any damage to me. Good luck in esports.
That is a huge thing, and again, it's surprising to say for all that's been going on for ANEW Esports so far, it has yet to be noticed that Jace and Zoe are both 0-1-0 this entire time, so it's so scary to see that, but here we go, they are looking for Blower right now, all the fights are breaking up, charge all the way in the back line, but Blower just deletes LeBlanc off the map, deletes Kled off the map, and that is a massive win for them. This is the scary Draven that you never want to deal with. Massive advantages there, and starting Artist says thank you very much. We'll collect the 3rd kill of the game, or of the fight right there, and now push on your inhibitor.
Yeah, and I mean, this is most likely just going to be the inhibitor going down. There's nothing they can do with a Silas Uni. Look at Blower just gaining his HP back. His autos away. They can go for the end here. It's not really anything. That's the engage from Sheep, though. They try to look for something. Blower, though. Whew, sheesh.
They looked for it and they said okay, but that wasn't enough time for the rest of the team to get up. Massive damage coming out from Honeybee, but I don't think it's going to be enough as J6 down one of the Nexus towers. Couple deaths here and there. Qualifier trying to run interference right now, but that is going to be it. 7-13, 23 minutes is all they needed as Blower goes golden and the victory sign is flashed.
Yeah, just a very clean victory. There's not much to say here. ANEW played around their dominating bot lane, though I don't agree with how they drafted with Nori playing this Elise. Didn't really seem to have that much of an impact in comparison to something like the J4, which is what he's normally been playing. Even a Sejuani would have been a bit better. I can see why you would pick it into a Silas. You don't want him to be getting any of those important ultimates. But again, this was just the Blower and Sheep show. They just ran through the game, and that's the reason why ANEW won. Pretty okay play coming out from 5Fire, only dying once in this game. Stayed relevant, stayed ahead of Honeybee. And same thing with starting Artist. He got his kills towards the end of the game, but still punished hybrids as much as he could with the Jace Kled matchup. You gave him the advantage in the lane, and he just ran with it from there. 2K, 3K gold up on his lane opponent, and that's kind of how this game just ran through.
Yeah, and that now means it's evened up. This is only a best of 3 series, so both teams sitting at 1-1. So we'll have to see who can come in and take that third all-important game, move on to the finals, and who will be going into the Constellation third place match. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game number 3. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 3 between ANEW Esports and Maryville University. My name is once again Orbital, and I'm joined here by Sordo. We have been thrilled with the game so far, with Maryville University taking game number 1 in a decent fashion, and then ANEW Esports coming back in dominating fashion with the Draven, taking it to a game 3, and now we see the bans coming out fast and furious once again. MU banning away the Thresh, Kiana, and possibly the same bans again, while ANEW have banned away Karma, Morgana, and Aatrox, so changing things up a little bit.
It's like 4 bans matter, or something like that. Like, wow, what a difference 4 bans can make. Not having to deal with the Karma again. They're going to just pick up Nautilus, so that kind of dissuades the Yuumi pick here, which I do like coming out from ANEW. So they can now draft towards another, aggressive bot lane here. You can pick up that Draven again. You have things like the Kai'Sa, like the Caitlyn, like the Jinx that are still available. So it's definitely a good pickup. You're going to go with the Gragas. This is most likely going to be followed up with the Yasuo. That'll be quite interesting here for Maryville. That we haven't really seen the Gragas Yasuo comps all too much as of late.
Yeah, we really haven't, and it's always interesting to see whenever someone decides to pull it out, but now the thought is there, and that is going to be a Corki hover, so maybe just a comfort pick for Iconic in that jungle role. It'll be interesting if they do pull it off, but they automatically pick up the Corki, which now means ANEW probably won't be taking that Azir.
Yeah, I mean, I like picks like this, so it's now you don't have to waste a ban.
Mm-hmm.
So now for ANEW, you probably don't have to ban the Yumi anymore. For MU, you don't have to ban the Azir out. J4, though, going to be locked in here for Inori. We've seen him on it so many times before in countless numbers this series. It's not really surprising to see him on it yet again. Great engage now for the side of ANEW. Let's see who they pick, as probably the ADC here will be locked up. Be kind of surprised if a solo lane was locked in. Maybe something to fight the Corki.
Really true, and that is going to be the Tristana locked in again, this time for ANEW's side. The last time around, it was Maryville University that played it in the top side and really put it to good use. This time around, though, we're not sure if it's going to be top or mid, so we'll have to see. MU may be looking to prioritize that top lane or support role, as the Nautilus has already been picked up. So we'll have to see what they decide to do. But the big question is, you know, are they going to try and play a little bit more aggressively this time? Because ANEW went hard in the paint.
Well, I mean, speaking of going hard in the paint, they pick up the Kled.
Yeah.
So they're going to want to go in. I don't necessarily agree with going for a composition like this when you pick up the Gragas, unless you're able to cast someone in. I would have much rather have seen, you know, a different kind of jungler, maybe a Sejuani instead of the Gragas. Would have been probably a bit better. But right now for the side of MU, if that Gragas is going AP, they have quite a bit of damage, not that much tank, and the best tank support has been taken away already. Cannon and Pike going to be the two bans here. I'm kind of curious to see what MU picks here. That their next pick is going to tell where their comp goes. Azir ban is hovered here.
Wow.
Gonna be locked. That's kind of surprising. I really did not expect an Azir ban.
Now Azir, I know Qualifiers plays a lot of Azir. He played it quite a bit in the past, I believe. Same with the Syndra. That's why he had picked it in game number 1. But again, that you're right. The Corki and Azir matchup, it always favors Corki, it seems. So it is surprising that they're giving that amount of respect over to Qualifiers, saying, all right, we understand that you're good with this champion. We're not going to allow you to do it. Yasuo banned away as well. Again, respect to that Gragas Yasuo comp.
Yep, we've seen Fnatic run it a bunch of times. We've seen G2 run it a bunch of times. So it doesn't really surprise me to see it banned out here. Now you're kind of just left with the Gragas to do whatever. I like the Xayah pickup. So it now forces them to either pick Rakan and force that Nautilus somewhere else, or just deal with the Lovers duo in the bot lane, which is most likely what's going to have to be the case. So now the question becomes, is that Gragas going to be more tanky or more AP heavy? I would much rather see him go full tank Gragas than see him go towards that AP Gragas. Rumble, though, going to be locked in, and that's a really good matchup for him at the top.
I like that setup right there. A nice pocket pick coming out here. Yordle versus Yordle. Fighter versus Inventor. So we'll have to see who comes out on top, the brains or the brawn. You're looking for that last pick, though. Ezreal being locked in. So that is, I believe, either going... actually, I think that might be a Rumble mid, not top.
It most likely is. You can still switch between the two, because Rumble does do okay into the Kled. So I do like this pseudo flex here. Tristana into the Corki isn't terrible. Once Tristana gets Bork, she can survive through whatever Corki wants to throw. But it's most likely, like you said, going to be that Rumble in the mid lane. Lovers duo, though, going to be locked into the bot lane here, as we do have a bit of a restart here.
Yeah, they're getting in order right now, just making sure everything is set.
Got memed here just a little bit.
It's okay. More time to talk about the comp, because again, it is super interesting to see these types of champions be picked up here, especially in a game number 3. You pick something out, such as the Rumble, and kind of toss it to an interesting situation, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it kind of just depends what they want to do here. Whether they want to go with the Tristana top, or have the Tristana face off against the Corki. I would rather see the Tristana top here. We saw how beneficial it was against the Kled, so it'll probably be going up there. My question now becomes, how will the Rumble do into the Corki? I would have rather seen maybe something like a Syndra again. Would have probably been a bit of a better matchup. But no, it's going to be the Rumble in the top lane.
Yeah, we do have that Rumble in the top side, so as you predicted, that is going to be up there. And again, Inventor versus Fighter, and it's going to be interesting. The question I also have on my mind is how well that bottom lane is going to work out. Because of the Ezreal Nautilus is very engage heavy, and you were talking about the Lovers duo, but we really haven't seen it used as often as of late, due to the fact that, you know, the Yuumi and Ezreal has been so prevalent. And do you think it's going to be more of a steamroll, or is it just going to be fairly even?
I don't think either team can go for much of anything. You engage onto the Ezreal, the Arcane shifts away, you engage onto the Nautilus, Nautilus counters Rakan pretty heavily. You go on to Xayah, once she's 6, Featherstorm, engage onto Rakan, he dashes away. So it's kind of just a tiptoe match here. You know, I respect you, you respect me kind of a deal here.
Please don't try and dive me, or we will mess you up. And what about this mid lane? Because this is the first time I think we've seen Tristana mid, at least so far on stream. Especially against a Corki.
We've seen Trist mid a few times all throughout the amateur scene. We've seen one of the first times was Julian, surprisingly, picking it out in the mid lane, and he ended up popping off on it. You do get quite a bit more gank pressure into the lane from the opponent jungler, but it doesn't really matter all too much. You can always rocket jump out. You always have someone close by. But the thing is, into the Corki, he can poke out from quite a bit away. So once Fire gets that Bork, that's when things start becoming a little bit more interesting. If for Fire he can bait out the Valkyrie, that's when things start to go in his favor. But until he's able to do that, then it's kind of iffy if he's going to be able to get any kills. Probably just going to be a CS.
Alright, well, we'll have to see if they can make it work, but again, we are going into game number 3. I'm not going to ask your opinion this time, because the last 2 games you predicted one team, other teams won, so we'll try not to jinx it this time. But we will be getting into game number 3. This is do or die for both these teams. Whoever wins this gets to move on into the finals of this open qualifier for the Riot Scouting Ground. So we'll have to see who wins. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the decisive game number 3 between ANEW Esports and Maryville University. Already, we see a couple pings going out directly into the rivers, so we might get some level 1 shenanigans again.
I mean, if any game's gonna happen with it, this is gonna be the one. You have the Nautilus hook, you have Shady's engage. So, want something, this is gonna be the game for it. No one gonna be spotted out as of yet.
Oh. But they do throw the flagpole, so that does mean they find it. Oh, nice pull in, but that is only going to be a little bit of damage. He's looking for it. Might be a kill. No, Ignite goes down. Unfortunately, Ignite only does a little bit of damage here. So he does get away without burning a single summoner. So, although he goes super low, nice win for Shady.
Yeah, that's great summoner discipline there coming out from Shady. Most people would have just flashed. Instead, just using the W just to get out. Good Klepto stacks, though. Going over towards Belower. Kind of surprises me, even though they had a dominating... Ooh, my goodness. Almost hit it.
Very scary there, but we do see the Electrocute versus the Press the Attack. So that's a pretty interesting take on summoners there, or on the runes there, I feel.
Yeah, I would have much rather see ANEW take Fleet Footwork instead opting into the Electrocute. Gonna basically say you can blow up the Tristana. Does get quite a bit of damage onto her. But not enough. That's the hook on fire.
Yeah, nice hook going out right there. They are going to lay down some damage in return. That has to feel decently well. And again, early level 2 trade here in this mid lane. And Rocket Jump actually going all the way in. Firefire says, I want to take this trade. Big boom going off right here. Charge! Oh! Big damage coming out. And Firefire collects first blood in a stunning turnaround in that mid lane.
Yeah, Honeybee just doesn't respect the damage that comes out from the level 2 Tristana and pays for it. Forced to use the teleport almost instantaneously. Tristana gonna be able to get it back. Gonna buy the pull. And she's just looking to farm up and get stronger. Because again, once she hits that Bork, that's when things start to go her way.
Very, very true. Not only that, you do have to think, I mean, the Ignite versus the Teleport is a huge summoner difference in that mid lane, especially for someone running the Press the Attack, shredding a lot of that armor and resist and all that fun stuff, but Cheap taking the feathers to the face, getting chinked out a little bit, armor starting to crack a bit.
Yep, just a little bit there. But still okay nonetheless. Does miss the Dredge line, which could have secured them quite a bit more damage onto Shady. Now that they have hit level 3, and Nori, though, forced to run away.
Yeah, he's trying to run away, but oh, gets belly slammed just in time, flashes over the wall, but the Q is gonna track him down. Shady collects the kill, walks back to lane happy with double bust.
Yep, gimme. And Nori in a bad position yet again. Doesn't have pressure in his mid lane, doesn't have pressure in his bot lane. Oh, blower.
Massive amounts of damage coming out right now from Maryville University. Threw down the gauntlet right there. Another leap in from Firefire, and this is the danger of Tristana. A nice hook under the tower as well. Sheep saying, I want to fight this out a little bit. Unfortunately, the tower wasn't attacking him. So Evan is going to stay safe, but in that mid lane, Firefire gets jumped on as well, has to flash away. So Skirmish is going all over. Here comes a TP in that bottom side to look for it. Sheep is walking up, flashes forward, gets a hook on Evan RL. In comes the rest of the team, and that's going to be an immediate kill. Possible second one coming up. Shady does have flash, holding out, waiting it out, and so doesn't have to burn the flash, but still a nice, solid gank coming out from Inori.
With Dredge line being about a 13-second cooldown, he knew that he didn't have to flash there. But good counter gank coming out, or good gank there coming out from Inori. Do see the top lane though going in favor of hybrids, which is kind of surprising. I rumbled is pretty okay into this matchup. However, he's just not taking the trades correctly. We just see the mid lane destruction coming out from this Tristana. You hate to see it. She just does so much damage with no damage items. Her base AD is way too high at this point.
Very, very strong there. And, ooh! Misses that little bit projectile. The harpoon does go a little bit wide. But it was a blind shot. So, again, he is able to soak up a lot of this CS once again and keep himself even. Only about 3 to 4 CS difference with Kled right now.
I mean, even if he would have stopped the back, Kled would have most likely gotten Scarl back and just ran him down from there. So it might not have been the worst thing to miss that harpoon. You do see Inori try to get the cheeky steal there on the Raptors. To no avail though, Iconic. Gonna be able just to secure it back up, showing that he knows how to use his casts, knows how to have a good time. Gonna secure up the Raptors. Right now though, the Infernal Dragon is the main target here. We don't have Rift Herald coming up for quite a while. So it's now going to be getting vision towards that Infernal Drake. Try to get your bot lane in a position of power so that they'll be the ones rotating first before the enemy bot laner. We do see both junglers towards the bot side, even though their top side camps are the ones up. Might be something towards there, but everyone just going to walk away. They don't really care all too much.
That is true. We're looking at an Infernal Drake first on the map as well, so it's pretty surprising that both teams have not opted to start laying down the vision. Usually we start seeing it a little bit earlier. But again, Inori and Iconic are not playing super strong early Dragon Takers, so it's not like they're looking for it right away. But we do see Maryville putting down the pressure along that riverside, trying to get a little bit of vision there. Nice poke coming out. Qualifier has to hop away, and Nori is there as well. Definitely squishier though than Gragas at this point, so doesn't want to leap in just yet.
Yeah, Iconic just showing up, trying to give his mid laner a bit of support. Clearing out those pink wards are vital for them to secure vision of this Infernal Drake. Again, their bot lane for the side of Maryville now have the pressure. Xayah just pushing in waves over and over again. Iconic trying to just show mid so that his mid laner can get a bit more pressure. Wards, however, are in favor of Maryville, but again, Gragas is on the top side. Rumble roaming downwards, trying to find Iconic here. Not gonna find anyone though.
Not at all. And for all the fighting that has been going on, it's honestly been quite quiet. For the overall situation going on. Again, this goes along the same lines as game number 2. Both teams really trying to keep the farm up, keep the basics and the very slow understanding, but you see the dragon being pinged right now, so this might be a dragon attempt.
Yeah, they're gonna walk over towards it. TPs on both top laners. That's why you see them just not skirmishing. They know that something big is about to happen. Dragon is started up, package goes through.
Yep,
First
and
TP
here we
comes
go.
out.
Yeah, here we go. Another nice fight. A flash forward does land, and Iconic gets locked into the Cataclysm. Dragon actually goes down to Maryville. That's a huge pickup right there, but health bars are bleeding low. Honeybee is trying to help us the backline out, but there is a 2 for 2 so far on the field. Both junglers and both ADCs are down. Qualifier also getting pulled back in with that hook, but a nice depth charge does go out. They're looking for it, but Scarl is back, and this is burning down heavily, and it is now top laner versus support in a bloody battle back and forth. That is going to be Hybrids trying to chase him down. Sheep does have enough mana to throw out that one shot. He does have flash as well. He does flash over the wall. Gets away. So the dragon goes in favor of Maryville University, but that is going to be an excess of 4 to 3.
Yeah, I know, a quadra kill going over to Honeybee here, and that's going to be massive. 4 for 4 total here. So that's going to be pretty big for Maryville. They were down quite a bit before that happened. So definitely going to take a 4v4 there. Or a 4 for 4 there. Plus the dragon. Definitely not something you're going to look away from.
Not at all, and now the gold evenness between the two teams was there. Now it is completely back in favor, or at least somewhat back in favor, of this team of Maryville University. Top lane Hybrids trying to chunk him out, but Inori now looking to get the jump in. There is no ultimate, there is no flash, so this could be a big fight here. He is going to be dismounted here shortly, and that's just going to be Hybrids run down. The flames are hot enough. We're gonna try and collect the kills here. Maybe Equalizer goes out one more time. The bird is almost not there, but Skarl is just a fraction too slow as Kled goes down for his first time the game.
Yeah, didn't have violent tendencies there. There's going to be power damage onto that top lane turret. Rates are still up. Very important to get them as soon as humanly possible. Still works out in favor there for ANEW, but Maryville on the other side of the map are gonna try to respond to this. They have sent the Quirky into the bot lane, trying to get this first turret. They will most likely get it here.
They're trying really hard, but unfortunately they're getting chunked out by the tower. They juggled aggro a little bit off. That is going to be first tower going down, but that still means that top lane did get a huge chunk taken out. One tower plate left. But that is a sizable chunk of gold. But I mean, still looking across the map, you actually see ANEW Esports still up about 500 gold overall, and that's due to the mid lane as well. So multiple nice pickups from ANEW Esports. It's just unfortunate that the Infernal Drake kind of evens that all out.
Beautiful thing about this game is that both teams scale relatively well. You have 2 ADCs for each team. So it can result in them trying to do something. Triss, though.
Nice jump in all the way, and that's actually a flash under the tower as well. Double flash, actually, and Fire gets out by the skin of his chinny chin chin. Is able to secure a solo kill for himself. He is now 2-1 and 2, feeling amazing right now.
Quirky behind everyone else, though. Rift Herald is getting low. This might be them being forced off of it. But still, really good dive there coming out from Fire. Again, people are just not respecting the Ignite coming out into this Tristana.
Yeah, not at all. And that might collectively come back to bite them in the butt a little bit. Again, you always think of Tristana as an ADC, but now she is more of a roaming assassin. The jump in, the burst, the damage, and here we go. A nice hook onto Hybrid. He isn't going to be feeling well, has to dash away. Barrel is there as well, so the rest of the team is getting collapsed on. You actually see Rumble on the backside. Nice step chart going out, knocking him off, but no, that is going to be the charge going out as well. Shady looking like he wants to go in, gets a nice knock up onto Sheep. But Cataclysm locks in 3. This might be the big jump that they want, but Tristana jumped in into the stun as well and gets destroyed. Tristana, the assassin, gets assassinated instead. That's going to be a 1-for-0 for Maryville.
Questionable there. Coming out from Fire. Throwing a bone back. And I mean, I wouldn't go as far to say that Trist is a assassin, but she does do quite a bit of early base damage. Right now, she just needs to continue to farm. She's down quite a bit of CS here, about 26 CS to the Quirky. So it needs to continue. Quirky now sitting on that Trinity Force as well as the BF Sword. Going to be a really dangerous position for the side of ANEW. Dragon is started up. They're trying to look for something here. They're going to find starting artists.
Oh, yes, they are, and he has a flash over the wall, but it's predicted by Shady, and they collect a very easy pickup right there. Dragon is contested, but taken by Maryville. Once again, iconic. Perfect on the smite so far. Solid 2 dragons picked up as well as 2 kills, and that has to feel heartbreaking for ANEW.
Yeah, and this is most likely going to be the mid-tower falling. They do get top tower as a response. Big tower will most likely fall here, going in favor of Maryville. They're just trying to continue to push their lead. Tristana, though, coming from the backline.
Oh, a nice flash in, gets Blower up a little bit, but that is going to be the dive under the tower. Evan RL is taking the tower shots, but he is going to flash out as well. They're going to keep going along, but that is going to be 2 kills going over. Nice poke going out, and actually, Blower picked up 2. Rumble picked up one, and that's a 3 for 0 so far. A nice Cataclysm catches Shady out, has to burn his flash as well, but they're on the hunt now. Maryville might have bitten off more than they could chew right now.
We'll be able to get everyone out here, but very questionable from Maryville. Just a game of disrespect yet again. Everyone trying to look for something. They're trying to look for hybrids here. Not gonna find anything. I'm doubtful they'll dive under tower for it. Teleport coming out from the Xayah just to clear out the mid wave. But again, just trying to go for aggressive things, Maryville, and it just doesn't work out in their favor. They're still going for something. And Nori out here.
Nori took 2 tower shots, is running away, is a little bit tanky, but they are going to chase here. Oh, he does meet Iconic, and out jumps Fire, leaving his jungler to die, but a nice pullback. Sheep is going to have to run away right there, but does get out of range. Teleport dissuades him from going any further. So that is a big pickup for them, but again, fast and furious fights right now coming out of both these teams.
Yep, I mean, pick after pick. Lower, though. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, they're
Not
waiting.
like
Blower! Oh, no! An explosive cask is the party to his death, as Blower goes down seemingly unknown. Second death of the game.
Yeah, you don't want to be walking into the jungle like that. That there might be a drunk fat man behind some wolves.
With someone else that's giving you a flowery introduction, I guess.
No, just wants to say hi, man. Like, come on! Don't you want to hug the like fat drunk man? Like, come on. Good pick there, though. Coming out from Iconic. Yep. Yeah. And I mean, it does give a bounty over towards the Gragas, 350 gold. Good pickup there by Iconic. He is going towards that AP Gragas, so it's good to give him a bit of kills. Now about 1,000 gold lead in favor here of Maryville, and they're just going to continue on their push here, trying to look for something here. This Corky, though, fairly strong. Now sitting at 2 items. Maybe looking for a bit more crit here just to make everything gel together.
It also needs to be said that Corky did go for the Essence Reaver build. That is something that you definitely see on those that like to poke out very heavily. Wants to keep his mana high, wants to be able to use those rockets as soon as possible. I believe he is sitting on that is 40% CDR exactly with those 2 items, so he is all set to just continue building that damage. Excited to see what he can dish out.
Yeah, he can go towards the RFC into IE build. There's a bunch of builds that he can go into, and he'll end up strong regardless of the fact. But now you really do need the Xayah to start to come online, sitting at 0-4, and then RL needs to kind of pick it up here just a smidget. There is the Kled on the top tower, though, just hammering on it. There's no one really there contesting him. They finally try to send J4. But, I mean, he's going to go straight back into the mid lane. Kled is just going to continue to push up on that top tower and kind of just going unchecked.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they want. They want to keep the pressure up on the side lanes. They want to be able to really lay down, you know, force ANEW into different avenues, split them up, don't let them get a team fight. That's exactly what Maryville wants to do. Meanwhile, Dragon is coming up. That's going to be another Mountain Dragon for them. Whoever secures this one basically has free in for the base. You already see it spawning. You see all 5 members of ANEW here and ready to fight, but that is going to be a TP to one of the minions. This is going to be a full-on collapse. Sheep getting massively poked out just by Honeybee. Honeybee actually picks the one up and a huge Cataclysm, but that's not going to be enough as the Wombo combo coming out from the side of Maryville is enough to secure the kills. That is ANEW Esports on the run right there. Evan RL says the burn is not enough. Ace coming out for Maryville University, and they secure the Dragon as well to put themselves firmly in the lead.
Yeah, 5 for 2 there. They kill the Corky, but it doesn't really matter. Kled being such a strong champion here, as well as the Xayah now hitting 2 items. You can't really mess with it. As we see hybrids, just trying to get the dragon. Does secure it eventually. So now a 3k gold lead in favor of Maryville means that they are now in a pretty good position to go towards the Baron. Zaya sitting at 2 items, Corky sitting at 2.5 items. With Double Mountain Drake, they burn that thing really fast. So now ANEW needs to be mindful of this and start warding up their Baron.
Yeah, and here they go. They're looking for a little bit of poke. A nice 2-shot barrage barely does any damage. And meanwhile, Qualifier took so much poke in return. That's going to be the Valkyrie forward. Is going to look at Sheep right now. Nice equalizer. Lands on a few, but they all leap right back out and away. Unfortunate. And that is a signal right there to just go straight for Baron.
Yeah, no, they have healthy enough HP bars on their tank that they can go straight towards this Baron. It's pretty free here. It's already being melted down. They started this thing 3 seconds ago, 5 seconds ago. It's already gone. They're just going in as well.
They are, but that is going to be the Flyger Drag out. But Rumble is not so fortunate. Tried to get to the Blasting Cone, but doesn't make it. That's going to be the death there, and the speed up is still available. So Gragas definitely looking for a fight. There has a flash available on the Predator has been popped. Does jump in, and here comes the quickness. Gets ulted out by the Buster shot of the Tristana, but that's still not going to stop the push forward. A huge loss for ANEW right now, but they're still looking for more. In goes Annoy again. Hook does land, but I don't think it's going to connect all the way through. So again, little picks here and there are breaking the base for Maryville University.
Yeah, Quirky coming through as the package here as well.
No package actually going in, so Anori gets chunked out just by the auto attacks. He is so strong right now. 2.5 items on him. They're just gonna brute force this mid lane open with Baron available with 2 ADCs. They do not care. Equalizer once again lands, but no one is there to follow up. Nice knock. Does get hybrids off of his Scarl, but Evan actually dodges all the skill shots. Depth charge does go out, but doesn't have any follow-up once again. So these desynced ultimates coming out of ANEW Esports is just not doing the job.
And the thing is, now the base is finally cracked. There's no one really that can stand up to Honeybee at the moment. This Zaya is also becoming quite strong. They're just going to push towards this inhibitor. They're going to get it here. It might be a bit of an overstay for them. They try to go onto Anori here. Good flash.
Yeah, and Anori actually jumps in. Cataclysm is there, but he locks them down for a few seconds. Starting Artist is on the side, looking to try and wait it out right now. Sana coming back with 1.5 items in his bag. Hoping to pick up a few more. Equalizer is up. Cledis running down the sideline, so Hybrid is looking to join this fight soon. They're pushing on. They want to get a bit more. Equalizer has been laid. A nice one this time, catching Evan RL all the way out, and a nice stretch line into it. That is going to be the shutdown for Qualifier, the one that they want. Hybrid caught on the wrong side of the map here. In goes Shady. In goes the quickness, but down goes his life as he goes golden. Actually picks up one for himself. That's going to be the auto attacks again. Another shutdown once again. Scarl doing so much work in the back line right now. He is so strong. Gets himself a double kill out of nowhere. Finally, Annoy is back up. Says, I'm going to try. But again, this healing is ridiculous. Has to hop away. Five giving so much respect. And he might get another one. He gets it. Hybrid says, my team's down. I don't care. I'll take all of you to the grave. Gets himself, I believe that was 4 kills right there. So easy, but a 3 for 4 overall in favor of Maryville. So much gold.
Yeah, that's just a easy clap moment coming out here. Everyone on the side of ANEW is spawned back up, so that's going to trigger the recall coming out from Hybrid. And I mean, right now if you're ANEW, there isn't much that you can do. You need that equalizer to do massive amounts of damage, and it's just not happening right now. This is just looking really good. Package now available for Honeybee, and they're gonna look for something here. Another Mountain Dragon is spawning up here in about 35 seconds. This is probably where everything's going to go downhill for ANEW.
I would have to agree. This is them and their composition not gelling just in time. Tristana and Ezreal still need to get online. We're looking at 2 items completed on the side of Blower, and Firefire just completed the Phantom Dancer, has picked up that BF sword, but Look at Honeybee, 3 completed items, still sitting on about 600 gold. So again, very far ahead, but there it is. Cataclysm goes all the way in. Iconic tries to do the belly bounce, but doesn't land. Hybrid does get in. Honeybee finishes off the kill. One more auto attack is necessary. No, Phantom Dancer keeps him alive. So Qualifier gonna run away. Honeybee is doing so much work right now. Starting Artist has to run away. And ANEW trying to make the big plays, just not enough at this point.
No, he doesn't find Tristana there. But that's going to be the bot tower going down. Kled is in the top lane, going to get Scarl back right now. That's going to be them continuing the push here. Dredgeline tries to go out. Not going to find anything. This is really good right now for the side of Maryville. They're just getting picks all over the place. Right now, ANEW just not having the best of games. 0-8. Full tank, only 2 items in. Equalizer goes out, though, hits 3 people. Still not going to result in anything.
Not at all. Trying to... And honestly, it's been the start each time. Starting Artist has honestly done his best to really try and start these fights off, get the equalizer down, get the good damage. Qualifier says, I can fight Hybrid right now. Nice flash, but he gets knocked off of Scarl. They're trying to kill him, but look at the damage coming out from that Titanic. And that is going to be Qualifier collecting that bounty once again. He's collected 3 bounties on his own. He's drastically caught up in the situation, and this just might be the lead that they need to come back. ANEW trying to fight for this tower. Quickness goes in. Barrel only lands on 2, and this is the fight. Death Charge lands on 3. Massive knockup as well. Cataclysm unfortunately misses the Shady runs away. And if Qualifier was there, that would have been a team ace. Unfortunately, it's only 2 kills for 1. And ANEW will have to settle.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, for Maryville, they're just gonna go get this dragon. Not really that big of a deal. 3rd mountain dragon. And with Baron spawning up here in about 3, 2, 1. Baron's up. This is now Maryville's time to just go burn it down yet again. If they get a pick onto anyone, the Baron goes down.
That is true, but it also has to be mentioned that ANEW lost their inhibitor at the first Baron that was taken in this game. That was about 6 minutes ago. It's crazy to think that they've been able to hold on to the rest of their base. Maryville has not been able to break the rest of the inhibitors, which is surprising.
I mean,
so you
they were able to take all the outer towers. They were able to get some massive damage onto the top inhibitor turret, plus push on to the Nexus towers. So not that bad coming out from Maryville. They just need to look for a pick here. Baron being started up. They're just trying to get the pick. Oh no.
Oh no. Hybrid did one of the best flanks I think I've ever seen and absolutely destroys Starting Artist, and immediately Blower goes down as well. Oh no, this is awful. Sheep goes down as a 3rd member, and that is Qualifier running for his life as Maryville do the perfect pincer maneuver, kill everyone on the side of ANEW Esports, and say thank you very much. We will take that ace.
Yeah, and that's going to be the game going over to Maryville, even though they got stomped on last game. You know, they had a good performance in the first game. They definitely had a good performance coming out from Honeybee. And 29 minutes into game number 3, going to be Maryville going on to the next round.
Yes, and that next round is the finals. So they will be facing the winner of Lotus Bloom and Supernova. If Supernova wins, it will be a contest between the 2 Scouting Ground finalists already, or Scouting Ground entries already. But again, a nice, a beautiful series, I want to say, from both teams. Both teams putting out their best effort. And again, it's unfortunate that ANEW had to deal with a loss of 4 bans in the early stages, but they recovered very, very well in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if they didn't lose those 4 bans, then, you know, it might have been a different game. But to have ANEW go 0-9-11, kind of unacceptable in a game like this. You had Qualifier pop off, you had Blower pop off, and I mean, it just comes down to an issue that kind of became reoccurring towards the middle of the split where Inori and starting artists were not gelling well, and this is yet another game where they just did not gel well. A combined 4 and 15 coming out from the top jungle duo, and it is not what you want to see from ANEW, especially since they have to play that third place game to try to qualify for scouting grounds. You definitely don't want to see this coming out in that third place game.
You don't, but again, they did try their best. They put on a great show. They took it to that game number 3, and a great job to Maryville as well, putting on a clinic in that game number 3 as well, getting those picks, getting those fights. And you have to say, these guys look like top contenders because they are, but we do have to pick one person as that MVP. So in this series from Maryville University, who do you think is that MVP for that squad?
Probably going to go over towards Honeybee. He had a good performance in the first game, even though that second game was a little bit shaky from everyone on the side of MU. This third game kind of solidifies as to why he is so good in that mid lane. And I mean, MU just has overall, such strong mid lane talent. We've seen it throughout the seasons now, and it doesn't seem to be changing anytime soon.
All right, well, there you have it. The semifinals winner on the lower side of the bracket is going to be Maryville University. They will be playing later tonight. I believe that is at 8:30 p.m. EST or 7:30 CST if you are keeping up. Just keep that in mind and go ahead and check them out then. So for right now, from the semifinals stream and all of us here at the broadcast desk from Upsurge, thank you so much for tuning in, and tune in later today to watch the finals of the Upsurge Open Qualifiers.